Is that enough? Dear Diary, it's over. It's finally over. I'm officially now a kinship carer, a special guardian, and it's over. Court is over. No more social services, no more court. I am officially a parent, you might as well say. So Aaliyah, my niece, who's my brother's daughter, she came to live with me December 2021. I got the call to come and remove her immediately, and I literally flew down there and removed her immediately. She wasn't the only child at the time. She has siblings. There was 3 kids in total at the time that this happened, and they were also removed. But I'm obviously related to Aaliyah, so that is the reason why I only had Aaliyah and not all 3 of the kids. So when I got Aaliyah, the plan was for me to go for SGO, which is special guardianship, which is what I have now and what I did go for. But the process was supposed to take 6 months. We were supposed to be dealing with social services being involved and all of that for 6 months. So the court case was supposed to be in May. She came in December. It was supposed to be in May of 2022. The court case never ended up happening in May, and it just kept on getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. And 17 months later, here we are. Finally, it's over with. And to be honest, it's a really nice feeling, because I'm not gonna lie, this last 17 months have been hard. Not only because of this whole entire case, but my personal life as well. While I was dealing with this, I was also going through a divorce, separation. And when she came to live with me, we did start, myself and my ex-husband, we did start the process together to both become special guardians. So I don't even need to explain how that was difficult in terms of even getting granted special guardianship, because I started off in a couple. I ended my application as a single woman that's separated now, about to get a divorce. So that in itself was a lot. Trying to keep my personal life and my marriage together for the sake of my niece was something I really struggled with, because I knew it wasn't right and I didn't want to do it. Of course, I eventually made the decision to end my marriage for the betterment of both of me and my niece, to be honest, and it was the best decision I've ever made. And to be honest, if Aaliyah didn't come into my life when she did, who knows if I would have ended things when I ended them. So for that, I am forever grateful to her, and I always say it, like, I feel like she saved me, I saved her. I feel like we saved each other, because I could still very much be in an unhappy relationship if she hadn't come into my life when she did. There was a lot of things that I couldn't do when it came to showing Aaliyah on camera. I wasn't allowed to show Aaliyah, and it was so weird for me, because before all of this happened and before she became a looked after child, because that's what she was classed under, a looked after child. When she came to me, she became a looked after child. And before she was in this and became a looked after child, I would pick her up, I would look after her, I would have her for a few days, maybe a week or whatever. I would go out, I would vlog with her, and it was all completely fine. So to not be able to do that now when she's permanently in my care and YouTube is basically what I do for a living, that was difficult. But I managed to try and, you know, work around it, where I would film and she would be in the background, but you wouldn't be able to see her. But then it started to get a little bit more difficult, because she became more and more active. The older she got, she became a lot more active. She will literally walk right up into the camera. Hello, hi, I'm here. She will slap things over, slap the camera over. She'll grab things. Like, it was really difficult trying to film with her. So that in turn started to, you know, kind of affect my finances, because I weren't filming as much, because I was literally being a full-time mum, going through her own stuff, but then still trying to figure out how to make money. I basically became a single mom overnight. I didn't really have much help with childcare, so trying to, you know, work and then still look after her. And she's a proper hands-on toddler. She's the most hands-on toddler I've ever come across in my life. And I've come across quite a few toddlers, but she's very, very hands-on. There is no get work done and look after her at the same time. It's one or the other. You either have to do your work or you look after the baby. For me, it's been a very, very testing time. It's been such a testing time. There's been a lot of times where I've wanted to break down, I've wanted to lose my mind, I've wanted to just you know, say I can't do this, like I actually can't do it. And I'm so grateful that I was able to push through it, because I feel like I'm just so happy now. I feel I needed help, and I needed to cry. I wanted to break down. I wanted to give up, and I just didn't see myself being able to do it. And during this entire 17 months, my niece's mum got pregnant again by my brother and gave birth to my other niece. And at the time that this was all going on, while she was pregnant, I was also put forward to be special guardian to her. And what I was told is, once she was born, she was supposed to come straight to me. But it didn't pan out that way, and she was able to stay with her mum. So she ended up staying with her mum, and I pulled out. And to be honest, pulling out was probably one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make. By then, I don't even know how many months I had Aaliyah. I had Aaliyah for a long time before I decided to pull out. And I feel like by the time I pulled out, I had Aaliyah for a really long time. So I had seen what it was like to even raise a child on my own. I saw the kind of commitments I had to make in terms of taking her to contact centres every week to see her parents. When it first started, I was taking her 3 times a week to these centres so she would have contact with her parents. And to be honest, that, oh my gosh, that's probably the one thing that irritated me the most about this whole entire process, because I didn't live close. I was driving like back and forth at least 2 hours each time. It took up a lot of my day, and this was 3 days out of the week. So not only was I not able to really get much work done anymore, because my work kind of needed me to have a quiet home, for one, to do like radio work and stuff, and 2, turn on a camera and film, and I'm not even allowed to show my niece on the camera. So not only am I not able to get work done in that aspect, but then 3 days out of my week are basically written off, you might as well say, because the time it takes to get there, I don't usually drive home. Because I didn't live close to the centres, I would wait in my car for her to finish her visits, her contact visits, and then would go home after that. So you might as well say my whole day's written off. I'm not doing nothing for 3 days out of the week anyway, apart from just driving her to and back home. So that was probably the most irritating part about all of this. And obviously I was willing to do it for 6 months, because that's what they told me. They told me it would only be 6 months of this, and then once you get special guardianship, you don't have to do contact centres. That's done. It's going to be up to you when, where, how long she sees her parents. That's all going to be your decision, because you're basically going to be her parental guardian. So you won't have to go to contact centres. You won't have to deal with social services. You won't have to do none of this, because not only did we do the contact centre stuff 3 times a week, we're having visits at my house. We've got health visitors coming to my house to see her. We've got social workers coming to my house to see her. We've got pop-up visits. They will do surprise pop-up visits. And if I'm not home, they'll wait till I am home. They will literally wait at my house. So I kind of always had someone that I needed to see, or someone that I needed to take her to. And it kind of consumed my life. It really consumed my life. I'm not gonna lie, it consumed my life, and it was hella stressful. So to think that would have been doubled if I would have had my other niece too, once she was born, a newborn baby, then a 1-year-old, and then all of this contact and all that stuff will be doubled, as well as all the visits. I just felt like I really wouldn't be able to do it. I felt like I can't do this, and why should I do this? I think it hit me where I was just like, hold on a minute, what if they have more kids, and then more kids, and then more kids? I can't just keep taking all these kids. Do you know what I mean? Like, as much as I would like to, because I don't want my blood to be in care. That is the reason why I put myself forward to take Aaliyah, because if I didn't put myself forward to take Aaliyah, the other option would have been care. And I just felt like, if I can, why won't I? And this is why I put myself forward for my other niece at the time, before she was even born, because I'm like, okay, this is my blood. No, come on. And she's a newborn baby, so automatically I started feeling like, well, newborn babies, they will just get adopted off. That's how I felt. Like, she would just get adopted off. I have to take her. I felt like I had to. But then I had to make that decision for myself, to be like, do you know what? I actually can't do everything, and I can't take in every single child that might need me to. So making that decision to pull out was really, really hard. But regardless of, she was able to stay with her mother anyway. And I feel like that was the best outcome for her anyway. There's been a lot of frustration on this journey, anger, fallouts, arguments, Just a lot, man. A lot of emotions, a lot of highs, a lot of lows, a lot of lows, a lot of lows. And the lows don't even come from Aaliyah. None of the lows come from her. More so the lows come from all of the social services side of things, having them in my life. I'm not used to having people tell me what to do, people dictate certain things about my family and my life and what's right, what's wrong, people treating you as if you need some sort of guide how to just do normal things. For me, we grew up with my mum. She had 3 kids and she raised them all by herself. We never had social services in our life. We never had anyone knocking on our door coming to check, is your house clean? Have you baby proofed your house? Have you decorated her room like you should? And like all these little things that they're telling me that I have to do, like you need to make sure. I did all these things anyway and I was gonna do all these things anyway, and I feel like me as a person, I'm the type of person, don't tell me what to do because I already know what to do. I don't know if that's a stubbornness in me, but baby proofing a house, like to be told to baby proof a house when I've already baby proofed a house or already was baby proofing a house, little things like that used to just get under my skin, because it's like, you don't need to tell me to baby proof a house. You don't need to tell me to get my niece a bed. You don't need to, like, I've already done this and I'm already doing this. I've got this. I think throughout this whole ordeal, all I've wanted was for the social services to just leave me to it. Just leave me to it. You don't need to come and check to see I've got gates on my stairs. You don't need to come and check that Aaliyah's bed is big enough for her. You don't need to come and check I've got food in my cupboards. But I guess they do need to check, because they're taking children out of an environment that isn't suitable for them. So they need to make sure, of course, that they're putting them in a suitable environment. And I get that. I completely get that. But it was constant. Like I said, sometimes it would pop up without me even knowing they were coming, I guess, to see, is my house tidy today, when she doesn't know we're coming? Have they got food in the cupboard and they don't know that I'm coming? And every single time they came, I would honestly give them such attitude. And looking back now, it's not, they're just doing their job. It's not their fault. The anger shouldn't even be directed towards them. They don't know me from nowhere. Yes, they've allowed Aaliyah to come live with me, but they don't actually know me, so they still have to do all of their research on me. They've obviously assessed me. I've been approved, of course, and all of that, but even after I've been approved with their assessments, they still have to keep checking. I guess in case somehow you might have tricked the system and you got approved from lies. I don't know. I don't know what they look for or what the whole process is when they're assessing people. But I just felt like, okay, you've assessed me. You've assessed me as a person. You've assessed my background. You've assessed my family. You've assessed my finances. You've assessed everything you can assess. Okay, so leave me to it. That's just how I felt. Just leave me to it. Let me just raise this baby. Like, just leave me to it. But that's not how it works. They're gonna be in your life. And I was told that this was only supposed to last for 6 months. So I was willing to bite my tongue for 6 months. So when it started going on past a year, it's like, come on, like my whole entire life has been shifted and affected because of this. I just want to be able to put my niece comfortably into my life and work her into my life. Like, yeah, I wanted to put her in childcare or send her to nursery. I wanted to do certain things so I'm able to get my work done, schedule it, have a routine with her. But it was really hard to even just have a simple routine because of everything else that was going on around it. And then of course to have the conflict with family, conflict with her parents, conflict with different opinions, certain things, people trying to attack my character, and it was just a lot. I'm not gonna lie, it was a lot. And I won't sit here and act like I had a good relationship with her parents. When it comes to my brother, me and my brother, we had a good relationship growing up. We was super close growing up, to be honest. We were really close. And this whole entire situation has affected that majorly. It's affected our family in a big way. It's hard, like it's not easy to just, like when it's so close to home, because Aaliyah is my blood niece and because I did have a really good relationship and I was close with my brother, this has affected it in a big way. And in the beginning, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really want to believe or hear that he could have prevented this. I kind of had a lot of my anger towards my niece's mum, more than him. But as time went on and this process was just going on, and I'm getting to see certain things, and I'm just observing. You know, when you just sit back and you observe, and then you just come to a place where you're like, actually, it's the both of you. Like, you are both of you are to blame for this, and both of you are equally as responsible. And my anger was now towards both of them. And having animosity or anger or bad blood between my niece's parents, it's not good, because she's the only one that's going to be affected at the end of the day, because she's going to have to see them. But me being her special guardian doesn't mean she doesn't see her parents again, and now I'm her parent and that's it, and she doesn't know who her parents are. No, she's still going to see her parents. Her parents are still going to be in her life. Yes, now that I'm SGO, it's up to me. I get to say, you know, if she can see them, if she can't see them, when she can see them, for how long. And these are decisions that I'm gonna have to make for the rest of her life, or until she's an adult. Until she's 18, these are decisions I'm gonna have to make. Of course, when she's like old enough to have her own brain and her own decisions, she will be the main person making these decisions, because I'm not gonna make her do anything she doesn't want to do. But because I have to make these decisions, I have to have a good enough relationship with both of her parents where I'm able to facilitate this. I'm able to arrange this with them. I'm able to, you know, communicate with them at a level to be like, we're doing this for your child, that's it. Do you know what I mean? So that has been something a bit different. It's easier to navigate now, super easy to navigate now. But like a year ago, these sorts of things I could never have imagined being possible. Like, I couldn't even imagine. All I could think is, when I become SGO, I don't see how I'm gonna chat to any of you to arrange nothing, because I don't want to chat to you lot. And being completely honest, because that is the point of my Daina's diary, to be completely honest and just tell you how I felt. But I really felt like during the whole process, I felt like, no, once I'm SGO, that's it. Do not call my phone, do not text me. All of you are getting blocked. None of you are seeing her. I'm not seeing you, you're not seeing her. Don't talk to me, don't ask. I'm gonna look after her, and that is it. That's how I felt. But of course, at a certain point, I can't remember when, I've realized, well, no, actually, the only person that's gonna hurt is Aaliyah, and the only person that is gonna affect is Aaliyah. And Aaliyah's gonna grow up and she's gonna have a lot of questions, and I'm gonna have to answer them. So I had to get to a point. I had to get to a point where I had a good relationship with my brother again, where I had a good relationship with her mum, because it was really bad and too many emotions were involved. And it will get that way when it is family. It's different from me just fostering a child that I have no bloodline with, no connection to, just a child that I'm fostering or adopting. No, this is different, because family's involved. It did get, you know, at some times really, really difficult. But I am happy to say that I'm in a good enough space now where I have been able to include my brother and her mum in her life, and they are very much a part of her life, not just like a little visit here or there. I want them to be in her life, you know, all her milestones, see her grow, be at all the important stuff, and still raise their child. I still want them to be active parents in Aaliyah's life, but she will live with me. She does live with me. I do the majority of parenting for her, of course. Obviously, I choose her school, what doctor she goes to, her dentist, all of that sort of stuff. If we're going on holiday, she come with me. Like, she's always gonna be with me, but I do want them to actively be her parents in her life. Obviously, we're not completely there, like where we're tight, but eventually I do want to be at a place where it's like, okay, maybe we can all make the decision, all three of us together. Of course, I get final say as her SGO, but I would like, you know, to just keep them included and not have Aaliyah grow up and feel like she's different, or why me? Because at the end of the day, her sister, which is also my niece, lives with her mum, as I said, and I don't want Aaliyah to grow up and just feel like, why do I live with my aunt and my sister got to stay with mum? Do you know what I mean? Same with her other siblings that I'm not related to. Her brother and her older brother and her older sister. They will eventually be going back to mum also. Once all of the kids are back with mum and Aaliyah is the only one that's not back with mum, I can only imagine that that's gonna affect her in the future for sure. So anything I can do to make that as easy for her as possible is what I want to do. And if that means having her parents heavily in her life, you know, seeing them often, things like that, then that's what I'm gonna do, because I don't want to have her, you know, deal with that later on down the line. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and act like it's easy to put my personal feelings for her parents aside, but it's something that I realize I have to do. I have to do that for the sake of Aaliyah. So that is what I'm going to be doing. That's what we're going to be doing. Aaliyah is currently 3. She just turned 3 not long ago, and she's speaking more. When she first came to me, she didn't know how to speak. Of course, she was 1. She didn't know how to speak. Now that she's speaking and she's saying more words, she calls me mama and mummy. I don't even know where this came from. I feel like it was Miss Rachel, I'm not gonna lie, because she watches Miss Rachel and Miss Rachel's always talking about mama, mama. So I feel like that's where that came from, and she identified me as mama. I've never told her to call me mum. I've never told her to call me mummy. She just kind of did. She just kind of started calling me that, and it kind of stuck because I've tried to correct her a couple times. I've tried to say I'm Auntie Daina, and she will literally say no. Mummy.
Mummy.
Auntie Daina.
Mummy.
Auntie Daina.
Mummy.
Auntie Daina.
Mummy.
Auntie Daina.
Mummy.
I'm Auntie Daina.
Mummy.
Auntie.
Mummy.
Auntie Daina.
Mummy.
She kind of just started calling me mama naturally, and now mummy. Yeah, so correcting her at this stage I don't do anymore. I don't even correct her anymore because I feel like when she gets to an age where she understands a bit better, she's gonna decide what she wants to call me, and if that's auntie, that's auntie. To be fair, I don't even want to be called Auntie Daina. I feel like my name doesn't flow. Not like back in the day, you know, when you had your aunties. I feel like the old school names used to flow better. Like I've got my Auntie Sonia, Auntie Claudette, Auntie Sharon. Do you know what I mean? I feel like Auntie Daina doesn't really flow. I don't know, my name seems too modern for it. I feel like my sister's name is the same, like Auntie Chiante. To me, it don't flow. I don't know. I would prefer to just be called TT. I tried to get her to call me TT. She didn't really like that one, but I would rather be called TT than Auntie Daina. I just feel like Auntie Daina is a mouthful. But whatever she wants to call me, I'm happy with. If she wants to call me mama, I'm fine with it. If she wants to call me TT, I'm fine with that. If she wants to call me Auntie Daina, I'm fine with that too. And once she's at an age where she can understand a little better, then she can call me whatever she wants to call me. She still calls her mum mama. She calls her mum mummy. So it's not like she only calls me mum and doesn't call her own mum that. So she calls both of us that. And it's so funny because we was actually together the other day, me, Aaliyah, my other niece, and Aaliyah's mum. And Aaliyah was like, mummy, mummy. And then Aaliyah's mum turns around and goes, which one? That was a funny moment because genuinely we didn't know who she was speaking to, if she was speaking to me or if she was speaking to her mum. As far as that, I'm not really fussed, and I do feel like she does have an understanding of what mummy is, because again, my sister, who is also her auntie, she doesn't call her mama, she calls her Ashi, which is her trying to say auntie. So she calls my sister Ashi, she calls my mum grandma, she doesn't call my mum mama. So I don't feel like it's a thing where she just calls every woman, every older woman mummy. I don't think it's one of them things. I think she does have an understanding of what mama is to her, and she's decided to call me mama. And to be honest, it doesn't bother me, it doesn't bother her mum, and as long as it doesn't bother her mum and me, then I'm fine with it. She can do whatever she wants, and when she gets a bit older, she can make that decision if she wants to call me auntie or not. And a big part of why I don't really mind it as well is because I want Aaliyah to feel as normal as possible. Like even simple things like me going to pick her up at nursery, and all the other kids, when they're getting their mums picking them up at nursery, they're shouting mummy and they're running over to them. I don't want her to feel weird. Like all the other kids in my class, they have their mum come pick them up, and then me, I'm just over here with my auntie. Like I want her to feel, obviously at such a young age right now, those sort of things maybe they don't get affected by that, but I just want her to have the most normal life as possible. And little things like that I think about. I don't want her to feel like she stands out and she's different from the other kids and starting to just wonder, why is it like this with my house and my family, and why is it different from my friends? And so yeah, as normal as I can keep it for her is as normal as I'm gonna keep it. This is definitely a big life change for me. I always think about, what would I be doing if this never happened and Aaliyah didn't come to live with me? What would I be doing? For one, I would wonder, would I have ended my relationship? And if I did end my relationship still, what would I have been doing? I feel like I would have been traveling maybe. I don't even feel like I would be in this country. I probably would have just sold all my furniture, all my stuff, all my belongings, or maybe put it in storage and just went like traveling. for a year or something. I don't know. I always think about what would I be doing, and I feel like this was all supposed to happen for a reason, because now I have a bigger purpose than I did before. I have a child to raise. I'm basically a single mother. Like, even when I think about dating and who I'm going to be talking to next, or who's going to be in my life next, they're going to have to know that I come as a package. I have a child, okay? You're dating a single auntie mama, okay? And it's a lot to, you know, kind of, you know, grasp and digest, because when you really think about it, all of this happened overnight. This wasn't like a gradual process. I became that overnight, literally, and I'm still coming to terms with it, and I feel like I'm navigating it very well, if I'm honest. I'm learning every day, to be honest. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I've got it all figured out. I'm definitely learning every day, but it's very rewarding. Having a Leah in my life has been very rewarding. It's just like you get to accomplish little things, like little, oh my gosh, I taught her how to do that. I taught her colors. Wow, look at me. I taught this little baby her colors. I taught her how to say certain words. I'm teaching her all these new things. Like right now we're trying to potty train. That hasn't been the easiest to do. But once I've got her potty trained, it's like another accomplishment. Like, wow, I taught this baby how to use the toilet. It is very rewarding and it's very fulfilling. And Aaliyah, she is such a character. She is the funniest person ever. Okay, I'm telling you that now. In the future, I'm calling it, I feel like she's going to be a superstar, because she is so funny. She has such a personality. She's such a big character. I feel like she gets a lot of it from her auntie. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, even she can sing. She's like pitch perfect. She can really sing and hold a note, and she impresses me all the time. I don't know how she does half the things she does, but I mean, when you got an auntie like me. I do joke about it, but I feel like she was named after me for a reason. Her middle name is Daina, if anybody didn't know that. Her middle name is Daina, and I just feel like that was for a reason as well. Like, there's some sort of, I feel like everything happens for a reason, everything happens for a purpose. And I don't know, I just feel like this was meant to be. It was always meant to be like this. Even when I've made like jokes in the past where people ask me, oh, do you want kids? And I would say, I would love to just have a kid and they're just a toddler already. Like, I don't want to go through pregnancy. I don't want to go through childbirth. Just let me have my child and they're already a toddler. So then when she came to me at 1 year old, it's kind of like, did I manifest that? I didn't have to get pregnant. I didn't have to go through childbirth, and the toddler was toddler. And then for her parents to give her my name as her middle name, it's just like, I don't know. I do believe in them sort of things, and like things are aligned and all of that sort of stuff. But yeah, I'm just so grateful that I'm in a position right now in my life where I'm able to look after her. I'm able to provide a roof over her head. I'm able to do for her what she needs, I think. And she's gonna be good. That's all I could ever want, for her to just be good. I can't imagine doing life without her now. At all. Like that, no, that just doesn't even make sense. Like, me and Aaliyah, we're locked in for life, and she's really changed my life, honestly. My thoughts on kids has definitely changed. Like, my whole outlook on pregnancy and having my own child, it's changed. To me, I've always said I'm open to having kids, but I was in a situation where I didn't want to have kids with the person I was with, so that kind of jaded my mind on if I actually wanted kids or not. Because sometimes I would say, yeah, I'm open to having kids, but then other times I would think, actually, I don't want kids. I actually just don't want kids. But I'm at a place now where I could have kids. If I don't ever have kids of my own, I'll be fine with that. I won't feel any regret. If I don't have any kids of my own, I won't feel any regret. However, if the right man comes along that I just feel like I would have a child with you because I know you're going to be an amazing father, I'm definitely open to having kids. So it's not like a thing where I don't want kids, but it's not like a thing I want kids. I'm just back at a place now where I'm like, with the right man, I can definitely have kids and just feel fine. But again, if I don't have any kids, I'm completely content just raising my niece, honestly. A lot of people speak about becoming a mum and how it changes them and gives them this new outlook on life. It gives them this purpose. It just makes them a different person. I feel like I've gotten all of that just from Aaliyah, and I'm just her auntie. I feel like I've already experienced all of that, honestly, because she's definitely changed my life. I definitely have a new outlook. I don't take nothing from no one, you know. I feel like right now my complete focus is just on Aaliyah and protecting Aaliyah. Honestly, anyone can get cut off, anyone can get cussed out, anyone can get dashware. I definitely go into mama bear mode a lot, and I'm not her biological mum, so I don't even feel like I need to be pregnant and give birth to my own child to have that same feeling. But a long 17 months later, we here. I am allowed to now feature Aaliyah in my content. Like I said, all of the social services stuff, that's all gone. They're out of our lives. There's no more weekly contact centers. There's no more visits, pop-ups at my house. There's no more go to this meeting, go to that meeting, take her to this appointment, that appointment. There's none of that no more. There's no one calling my phone. There's no even Zoom meetings. We used to have to do like these Zoom meetings. There's none of that no more. There's no more, you can't put her on camera, she's a looked after child. No, I can do what I want. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna start featuring her in all my content, because I'm not. I'm gonna feature her here and there, but I don't want my focus of my channel to be on Aaliyah anyway. I am officially a parent, y'all. What the hell? And when Aaliyah first came to me, I did a lot of research on special guardianship and kinship carers, and I didn't find much information. Especially, I wanted to hear from actual people that were going through it or similar situations, and I couldn't really find anything. So if there's anyone else out there going through similar things, maybe you're trying to go for SGO for your niece or your nephew, or I don't know, maybe even your brother, younger sister. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section, and I will try my best to answer them if I can. I won't be answering any questions asking why Aaliyah was taken from her parents or why the siblings were taken from the mom and all of that. I won't be answering those sorts of questions regarding that. But anything else just around kinship care, special guardianship, or even just parenting, or how I've been dealing with certain things in parenthood in general, if you have any questions, I will try my best to answer them, because I remember when I was doing all my research, there wasn't many people that I could hear from, that I could find going through this sort of thing. So, but like I said, all of this is over. Now it's time for me and Aaliyah to just live our lives, and I've been able to create a routine pretty easy that works for both of us. I'm excited, I'm happy. I couldn't have asked for a different outcome. Family's happy. This was the best outcome for me, and yeah, I appreciate all the support as well throughout this whole entire journey, because a lot of you have supported me. There's a couple of you that do work in social services, and you work with looked after children and things like that, and you guys have offered me a lot of advice during this time, a lot of insight, and I am grateful for everyone that has tried to offer me some help, because you can't do it alone. Trust me. One thing I've learned throughout this is you cannot do it alone. It takes a village to raise a child. It really takes a village, not only to raise a child, but then just someone to talk to, because like I said, there were so many times where I just felt like I couldn't do this. I was gonna have a breakdown. My mental was madness. My mental has been all over the place, and then you're trying to keep it together, because if you don't keep it together, you're gonna look unstable, and then they might just take my niece away from me anyway, because I'm unstable, so they're gonna take her. So trying to hold it together, oh my gosh, I'm proud of me. I'm gonna pat myself on the back, because I held it together. I held it together throughout everything, even when certain people were trying to make it difficult for me to even have my niece, trying to sabotage the whole entire thing, get her taken away, all because they weren't getting their own way. Like, it's been very hard. So to be able to finally breathe, oh my gosh, to be able to breathe is such a weight off my shoulder. You guys don't even know. You guys don't even know how relieved I am, and how happy I am, and how grateful I am. And to know that the outcome has been this, me a freaking parent now. Because there were so many times where I just felt like, oh my gosh, what if they take Aaliyah from me? What if they take Aaliyah from me and they put her into care? I've got such a bigger purpose now, and I'm ready. I genuinely believe now I'm ready. Before, a year ago, maybe, I didn't think I was ready, but now I know I'm ready. I'm 100% ready, and I'm excited, and I'm happy, and I'm grateful, and I love Aaliyah with all my heart, and yeah, let's go.